The Daily Mail, exclusive story. Quote, she's not fooling anyone, asserting a statement of fact. Ilhan Omar lives a double life of secret hookups and romantic vacays to Jamaica with her married aide as they live together on and off and even talk of marriage. How can they make such bold claims? I mean, it's a statement of fact. She's doing it, they say. Well, Daily Mail has photos that they believe show they're dating. They also have inside sources. That's at least if you want to trust the Daily Mail. But I assure you, because Ilhan Omar is such a prominent figure on the left, her allies in media are going to come from me and literally anybody else who talks about this. I kid you not. Media Matters has smeared me because I read a Star Tribune article that said she may have married her brother. I didn't make it up. The exact quote, to be specific, is that they said there's lingering questions of whether or not a man she married, possibly her brother, blah, blah, blah. And so I said this, I read through it, and I presented a critical view. You get smeared, okay? You get smeared because they have to defend her. Where there's smoke, there's usually fire, as the saying goes. Not always true, okay? But here's the thing. Ilhan Omar has been investigated over and over again. She has been found to have committed some campaign finance violations. She's been accused of another violation, and that she may have been paying this man, Tim Minette, bulk payments, not itemized, which may be a violation, to go on secret romps because they were seeing each other while both were married. Tim Minette is, I believe, a political consultant. He's going through divorce. Ilhan Omar is going through divorce. They're seen together. She's paying him. People ask the question, is this a campaign finance violation? Because she didn't itemize it, and it's bringing this guy with her on these trips. Here's the thing. It's hard to substantiate those claims. She may have violated, law because she didn't itemize the expense she gave to him. Fine. It's gonna be a slap on the wrist. Everybody needs to calm down. These things are relatively common mistakes. You failed to itemize. Who cares? Here's the thing, though. If she lied about it, and it turns out she is actually in a relationship with this guy, she's lied to the press repeatedly, I mean, that's where we're at right now. So let me just stop right here and say this. If what Daily Mail's reporting is true, she has lied, and she may be on the hook for trying to obfuscate illegal payments. And that's when things start getting serious. Now, look, man, again, the biggest problem with media today is that they have no curiosity. Everything's a conspiracy theory. Don't investigate anything. Make things up. You got Hillary Clinton making things up about Tulsi Gabbard. And anybody who dares talk about what Ilhan Omar may or may not be doing, they'll say conspiracy theorist, even when the left reports it. We have a sickness in our media. There are too many political activists who are tribalists. Okay, this is the problem. Let's read the story from Daily Mail to try and figure out what Ilhan Omar is actually doing. They say, Ilhan Omar's brazen double life involving secret hookups, romantic vacations, and talk of marriage to her DC strategist lover is today laid bare after an exclusive Daily Mail investigation. The leftist Congresswoman 37 spent months denying she had split from husband Ahmed Hirsi, despite this website revealing she had left their marital home and was having an affair with a campaign aide. She finally filed for divorce on October 7th, but still refuses to acknowledge her relationship with veteran Democratic schmoozer Tim Minette, 38, whose wife also petitioned for divorce in August. Daily Mail can now disclose that Omar and Minette are not only dating, but living together on and off at a secret DC apartment while plotting romantic vacations to Jamaica and making plans for a long-term future together. So they have many photos, and apparently Daily Mail's had investigators on this. Check this out. You can see at different times Omar and Minette are seen leaving the apartment. Minette seen getting into a car, and then you can see later Omar comes out, is seen getting in the car. Now, I'll tell you this, man. These photos mean literally nothing to me. They mean nothing. I don't care. They work together. She hired his company. So what? I mean, so he drives her around? Whatever. We know she's paid him, and we know they've traveled together. You're going to have to give me something more than this, Daily Mail, to make me believe she's actually having this affair. Now, I got to be honest. I think at this point, the simple solution is they're both getting divorced. They're both traveling together. They're both at the same apartments. They're both driving in the same car. Come on, right? But no. Hard evidence, because we gotta be sure. We gotta be absolutely sure. So they say, a well-placed source told the Daily Mail, quote, Tim is still pretending there's nothing going on, but neither of them are fooling anyone. Omar is an elected representative. She is supposed to be transparent and truthful. She needs to be honest about why she's leaving her marriage and breaking up another one. Well, do they have a source? Listen, man, you're going to have to call the Daily Mail a liar. And the Daily Mail is certified by NewsGuard, okay? NewsGuard, for those who don't know, it's a third-party rating agency. I am very critical of NewsGuard, but the point is, NewsGuard is biased, okay? They ignore mainstream fake news all the time. But when the Federalists put out a story that was challenged by the left, they immediately go in and give the Federalist a bad rating. I don't care if the Federalist is good or bad. I care that whenever fake news comes out and I say, look at this story, they say, so what? They ignore it. And then when one fake story comes to the Federalist, they go, oh, stripped you of your certification. So I doubled down on why I use NewsGuard. Because if you're going to accuse, if NewsGuard is pointing in one direction and you can see they have a bias, and they're going to say Daily Mail is credible, then argue with me all day. Okay, fine. It's not my opinion. It's a news story. They say they have confirmed sources, and it's certified by a third-party fact-checking agency, and there's photos of them going to the same apartment. I think it's fair to say at this point, the simple solution is Ilhan Omar lied, is having a secret relationship, is divorcing her husband, and he's divorcing his wife because they're getting together, and the payments she made to him that were not itemized, okay, are likely due to their relationship, and that leads us to a more dangerous question that we cannot prove yet. This is going to have to be for a court of law. Did Ilhan Omar purposefully hide what the expenses were by doing a bulk payment in order to obfuscate their relationship? That is a serious crime. And I gotta say, that's the question that needs to be asked now, because the probable cause, in my opinion, is not there. I'm not a prosecutor, I'm not a lawyer. But I'll say it again, just to make sure it's clear for all of you. She was giving bulk payments to Tim Minette. She was accused of being in a relationship with him. You cannot do bulk payments. They have to be itemized to expense. What were those payments for? We don't know. People accused her and said, was this for your relationship? She said, we're not in a relationship. She lied. Okay? That's what it looks like now, at least according to Daily Mail. That's their source. In which case, is she obfuscating those payments because they're illegal? That's serious. Insiders have gone so far as to suggest the pair are considering marriage when their respective divorces are finalized. At the same time, however, DailyMail.com can further reveal that Minette's spurned wife, Beth, is refusing to yield in divorce proceedings because she feels Omar is a risk to their 13-year-old son, William's safety. She wants primary custody and has told friends there is no way she will allow her child to be put in the crosshairs should someone try to harm the firebrand lawmaker because of her political leanings. A well-placed source told DailyMail.com, Tim is still pretending there is nothing going on, but neither of them are fooling anyone. Omar is an elected representative. She is supposed to be transparent and truthful. She needs to be honest about why she's leaving her marriage and breaking up another one. Right now, they are more or less living together whenever she is in D.C. They say they travel as business associates when they're staying in the same hotel rooms. They are even planning a romantic vacation at Christmas. The suspicion is that when their divorces are finalized, they will quietly decide to make it official. Maybe then the lies, the hypocrisy, and all the sneaking around will finally come to an end. Well, I'll tell you what, man. If they have a source saying they're sharing an apartment together, and Daily Mail has shown them entering and exiting the same apartment at different times, that's substantiating the claim to a certain degree. Again, man, politics is so insane right now, it's hard to know what's true and what isn't. It is a nightmare, okay? Trust me. I read these stories every day. Hillary Clinton, conspiracy Hillary. That's what I'm calling her from now on. Conspiracy Hillary. For years, oh, Russians are coming. Ooh, and it's like, dude, it was all fake news. The Russians weren't coming. There was some minor internet campaign that had very little effect. And Trump wasn't working with Russia. And Tulsi's not. Jill Stein's not. They smeared Jill Stein because there's a photo of her sitting at a table with a bunch of Russians because she was at a conference that Russians were at. It's so insane. Conspiracies nonstop. Okay? And here I am, absolutely detesting conspiracies and even being skeptical about whether or not this is true when they're definitively saying it. And they call me a conspiracy theorist, and there you go. That's where we're at right now. There is no fact, there is no reality. We have no idea what's true anymore. Boy, politics is messed up, ain't it? Let's read a little bit more. They say, so we read that part of it. Daily Mail has obtained photographic evidence that confirms Omar and Minette have been hooking up whenever the freshman lawmaker is in Washington, D.C. for her congressional work. Minette has been seen coming and going from her cozy basement apartment a few minutes from Capitol Hill with clothes, groceries, and 6 packs of Stella Artois. Stella, guys? Come on. You couldn't do Modelo? Modelo's way better. I don't drink beer. I'm kidding. When I do, I actually think Modelo is better. He's also been whisking, I'm going to get so many beer snobs yelling at me now, being like, whatever, man. He's also been whisking mom of 3 Omar around D.C. in his bright blue Ford Mustang, despite her insistence she needs a constant security detail because of threats to her life. So, yeah, she's like, oh, look, there's the beer. He's bringing beers over to look, man, I want to make sure it's clear that they could just be friends, okay? Friends hang out at each other's apartments. Friends drive around in the same cars. Friends share beers, and I'll tell you this. If there were photos of my male friends bringing beers to my house and coming and going at different times, nobody's going to accuse me of having an affair with one of my dude friends. You know, it's specifically because they've traveled together and worked together, but I think it's fair to say maybe there's no real relationship. Maybe you're jumping the gun. Now, I got to stop right there. Because Daily Mail says they have more than one source, it seems, on the inside saying this is true. Or at least one well-placed source, whatever. So if the Daily Mail has the photos and they have a source saying this is true, well, then who am I to say they're liars? Especially when it's certified by NewsGuard rating agency. What are you going to do? So here's some photos. They say, here's Minette heading to Omar's home with beers, yada, yada. Here's one. The next morning, after Minette brought over groceries and spent the night at their secretive love nest, Omar left her home at 11:30 a.m. Omar is seen getting into a waiting car. She heads to the U.S. Capitol and arrives at 11:38. Later that day, the congresswoman was dropped off at her home by Minette, who does not stay the night with his married lover. Well, I mean, he was staying with her, right? So here's where the crime stuff starts coming in. They say his company, E Street Group, has been paid more than $250,000 in consultancy fees since 2018 by Omar's campaign. The allegations, I don't know if they have it actually in here. The allegations I mentioned earlier was that when they paid him, when she paid Minette, it was a bulk payment. It just had like $12,000. And for campaign finance, it has to be itemized so we know there's no corruption, right? Neither party would discuss the affair, but when a reporter from Minneapolis-based WCCO-TV asked Omar whether she had split from Hersey and started dating someone else, she replied, "No, I am not. I have no interest in really allowing the conversation about my personal life to continue," she added, cutting off the further questions. They say DailyMail.com's exclusive was confirmed by Minette's spurned wife, Beth, who alleged in divorce papers that her husband made a shocking declaration of love for Omar before dumping her in April. She's spurned. She may be lying, but I gotta say, if Daily Mail has an inside source, if there's also another source, Minette's wife, they have photos together, I think at a certain point we just say, here's a simple solution. Here's Minette pushed back against his wife's accusations. So I think we're getting to a part where we know most of this, and I think we're kind of, if they're not going to talk about the criminal allegations, wow, Daily Mail's got a photographer on them for a long time. Look at all these photos. Here we go. Check this out. Chain-smoking Minette lets himself into Omar's home with his own key, carrying a work bag and a backpack. Around 30 minutes after Minette arrived to her home on Thursday, Omar returns home as well. So let's just lay this out. He has keys to her apartment. He brings over beers and stays the night. They're both getting divorced. They both travel together. Full stop. I think it's fair to say they're in a relationship. Yeah, and they go on, unless there's anything. And here's him taking out the trash. What I will say is, I am quite impressed at the Daily Mail's investigation. Look at all these photos, man. They're that's pretty impressive. The story goes on, but we get the point. Now they're just repeating photos. There's his ex-wife, and unless they have like a real conclusion here, here's what they say. Minette runs E Street Group with fellow veteran strategist William Haler from a shared WeWork office space. Whew, WeWork is in dire straits. Side note. The About Us section of the company's website has been taken down, but Minette reels off his career accomplishments and boasts of close ties with national opinion leaders in an archived version accessed by the Daily Mail. There you go. You get the point. They say that Beth wants primary custody, and in the end, the horse is dead, and we're just beating it. So you get it. Final thoughts, lingering questions. Were the bulk payments a violation of law, and were they trying to hide it? Because she lied. She was asked if she was divorcing her husband. She said, no, she is. That's a fact, okay? So whatever you want to believe, here's what we have. Daily Mail's definitively saying it. The next question is, did she violate campaign finance law and purposefully tried to hide it? That's where we're going next. Where there's smoke, there's fire, huh? Stick around. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel, and I will see you all then.